Welcome to the 2014 John Molson MBA International Case Competition. My name is Melina Suchan, and I will be the coordinator for the presentation of the University of Kaiserslautern. First, I would ask that everyone please turn off any electronic devices and cell phones. I will now kindly ask our distinguished judges to introduce themselves.
Good afternoon. My name is François Giroux. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Novik. We're manufacturers of polymeric exterior cladding.
Hello, my name is Mary Larson. I have my own consulting firm where I do strategic advisory work for the CEOs of large companies.
Ken Brooks, I'm a partner at EY, also a past finalist. Congratulations on getting this far, and I know exactly what the last week's been like, so good luck. It's almost over.
Dominique Vincent, I'm Vice President and Portfolio Manager for McDougall with McDougall McTier.
Afternoon, my name is Stephen Sharp. I'm Vice President of PNC Bank Canada, a wholly owned subsidiary of PNC Bank in Pittsburgh.
I would like to remind the University of Kaiserslautern that the team will have a maximum of 25 minutes to present its case. I will indicate to the team when 5 minutes and 1 minute are remaining. I would ask the team to please acknowledge that you have seen the signs. After the presentation, the judges will have a maximum of 15 minutes for questions. I will indicate to the judges when 5 minutes and 1 minute is remaining. I would like to wish the presenting team good luck. Bienvenue au concours international d'études de cas MBA de John Molson 2014. Mon nom est Melina Suchan et je suis votre coordonnatrice pour la présentation de l'Université de Kaiserslautern. S'il vous plaît, éteignez tout appareil électronique ou téléphone cellulaire. Merci et bienvenue à nos juges qui se sont déjà présentés. Je veux souligner à l'Université Kaiserslautern que l'équipe a un maximum de 25 minutes pour présenter son analyse. Je vais signaler à l'équipe lorsqu'il restera 5 minutes et puis encore quand il restera 1 minute. J'aimerais demander à l'équipe de m'indiquer qu'ils ont bien vu le signal. Après la présentation, le panel de juges a un maximum de 15 minutes pour les questions. Je vais signaler aux juges lorsqu'il restera 5 minutes et encore à 1 minute. J'aimerais souhaiter bonne chance à l'équipe.
So, welcome Mr. Stephen Johnson and strategic team to our presentation today. We are really happy to have you here and give you a deeper insight into the future of your company. But before starting with our presentation, let me shortly introduce my team to you. We are the Kaiserslautern Consultants. We are an external consulting team. And on my left-hand side, we have Jacqueline Worf and Jens Lorscheider. They are our operating officers. On my right-hand side, we have David Flodgek. He's our analyst. My name is Lisa Schreger. I'm active in the field of risk management, and I will guide you through today's presentation. So, Wayne Gretzky once said, "We don't want to go where the puck is. We want to go where the puck will be." And we are here today to show you where the puck will be in the near future and how your company can be in the same position as the puck will be there too. In the last meeting, internal meeting that you had and that you informed us after, you already figured that you have to change in the future, that the competition is coming up to you. So the main challenge that we are facing today is how to defend the position as a world's largest professional services firm in this dynamic and also challenging environment. To answer this question, we brought you the following agenda for today. So we will start with the current situation. So what are the facts? What is the situation right now? In the second step, we will have an analysis. This analysis is split into an external as well as the internal part. The external part looking at the environment that your company is acting in, and the internal part looking at the microcosm, which is your company. In the third step, we develop different alternatives. We will evaluate these alternatives based on some critical success factors. And for the chosen alternative, we will give you a detailed implementation plan. And after that, we will end our presentation with a short conclusion. So let's start with the current situation. So we identified different key issues that your company is facing right now in the environment that it is acting in. So on the one hand, like I said before, we have the emerging crowdsourcing trends. So new companies are upcoming with this crowdsourcing. Also, we have increasingly intense competition in this field that you are acting in. Also, we have a market globalization. So for people, it's easier to gain information and to access information. Also, we have increasingly sophisticated clients, so they are asking for more information, for more sophisticated information, for deeper information. Also, we have low flexibility and efficiency of your company due to the decentralized structure, so that all companies are acting independently. And at the end, we have also the evolving technology, so the software as a service technology, which makes it easier for the customers to get these services that you are offering only through a software. And to conclude the current situation, we can say that we have a loss of the important projects due of these upcoming crowdsourcing companies. Based on these key issues, we identified different critical success factors for your company, which we call objectives. And all alternatives that we will have on our table today will be evaluated based on these objectives. So at the top, we have the increased flexibility and agility, what we think is really important for you to be innovative and to be competitive in the future. Also, a generation of innovative solutions, so offer the customers in the future the innovative solutions that you are offering right now. Also, the increased profitability, which is for every company really important, and remain competitiveness in price and time. So the crowdsourcing companies are much faster in offering their services for a cheaper price, so be competitive in this field as well. And also the feasible financial impact. So with this current situation in mind, David will now go on with the external as well as the internal analysis of your company.
Thank you, Lisa. So to start our analysis, let's have a short look on your business model. The business model consists of several segments which are all located around and contributing to the value proposition, which is in the center, in the core of your business. The value proposition is what you are selling to the customer. And some might say you are selling consulting products or tax products or auditions, but we say that you are selling problem solving. And how do you do this? Well, you have several practice areas, which are audit, tax, consulting, and corporate financing. You have a broad variety of key resources, which we divided into human, intellectual, physical, and financial resources. You are pretty well performing in the revenue streams all over the world, and your headcount is really increasing in the recent years. So you're expanding and growing. Let's have a closer look on your value chain. So how are you active in your market? Well, Deloitte is constructed out of several member firms which are all using the name. It is called networking firm, networking business model. So a customer comes to one member firm, has a problem, and the one member firm gives them the solution. So there is no interaction between those member firms. There's a low flexibility and agility, but as well, it's a good risk management because each member firm has the risk of this solution, of this problem solving. Here we have the price-quality competition in the market. So you and your main competitors, the big four, are really up in the edge of price and quality. But as we're facing an increasing competition, especially in the crowdsourcing market, this environment changes. So we see, for example, the 10 EQS. They're offering products for a sixth of your price, or MBA and Co. You have only to pay them the quarter of your price. It doesn't affect all of your businesses, but in some of your practice areas, it really affects your business. So you either have to reduce the cost or increase the quality to stay further competitive in some parts of your business. So let's have a closer look on the crowdsourcing concept. So crowdsourcing basically is the use of technology to connect individuals and access services from all over the globe to solve problems. It's divided into 4 types. We can see them here. And there are opportunities and challenges in this crowdsourcing market. For example, opportunities are that the workforce is instantly available due to new communications, etc. The project size can be split into smaller parts, so there is no restriction in this area as well. And you have a broad access to a pool of talent. But as well, there are challenges, how to assure quality, for example, which is pretty critical for your company. And also, there is an unknown legal development on how the workers are handled in this market. So we can see that there are opportunities for Deloitte but it's risky to acquire a company here because of this uncertain development in some legal areas. So maybe we could implement best practices from crowdsourcing companies or in your own business model or acquire know-how. Here we can see your practice areas on the left-hand side, and we identified that especially in the consulting and the cooperating finance, we have identified opportunities and potentials for your company to implement crowdsourcing ideas and best practices. For example, in the consulting part, potentials can be used in strategy development by knowledge combination through all these member firms. Yeah, it's also important to have a closer look on the rivalry in the industry you are acting in. So therefore, we prepared Porter's 5 forces analysis, which is focusing on the threat of substitutes, the threat of new entrants, the bargaining power of customers, the bargaining power of suppliers, as well as the rivalry among existing companies. We concluded that there is a highly competitive environment because of these new entrants in the crowdsourcing market, which is affecting not the core of your business, but a part of your business. So to wrap up our analysis, we prepared a SWOT analysis, divided into the internal strengths and weaknesses and the external opportunities and threats of your company. So with your high reputation in the market and these upcoming trend of crowdsourcing and the best practices of crowdsourcing which you can implement in your company, we see that you could overcome the weakness of low flexibility and agility and also avoid the threat of these upcoming crowdsourcing companies in the future. So with this in mind and the objectives we gave you, Jacqueline will now present to you the alternatives that we developed.
Thank you, David. Before we come to our alternatives, let's have a short look again at our main challenge. That was how to defend the position as the world's largest professional service firm in this dynamic and challenging environment. And in order to solve this question, we developed 3 alternatives for you, looking especially at the upcoming trend of crowdsourcing. So the 3 alternatives are: keep solo structure without crowdsourcing, internal crowdsourcing, and acquire a crowdsourcing platform. The first alternative means that you just keep the status quo in your company because you're really profitable, and so you can leave the things as they are, but because of the new upcoming trend, you have to do lobbyism because of these crowdsourcing companies that are upcoming, and so you can lobby for stricter regulations with the governments. And with this alternative, you will have profitability through your core competency of quality. The second alternative, internal crowdsourcing, means that you have to implement a whole internal crowdsourcing system. And this system is quite complex, and so you need the computer system know-how. And to get this know-how, you can acquire the firm of Crowd Computing Systems, because this is a really successful firm in that area. And with this alternative, you will get profitability through quality, your core competency, but also through efficiency, because you can increase your efficiency remarkably with this alternative. Last alternative, acquire crowdsourcing platform. With this alternative, we would recommend you to acquire a crowdsourcing platform, like, for example, 10 EQS, but you keep your existing structure in the company. So this is just another area of your business. And with this, you can use the high profit margins of the new crowdsourcing platform to lower your prices in your core business. So in order to evaluate these 3 alternatives, we'll use our objectives that Lisa mentioned before. These were the increased flexibility, the innovative solutions, the increased profitability, the competitiveness in price and time, and the feasible financial impact. On the next slide, you can see our evaluation sheet with the alternatives on the left-hand side and the different objectives on top. And as you can see here, the internal crowdsourcing would be the best alternative for you, because even if it's more expensive than, for example, just leaving everything as it is, it will make you more flexible and agile, and this is really important. And so you should go with this alternative, and now the question is how to develop a crowdsourcing system in your company. And in order to solve this question, Jens is now going to give you a detailed implementation plan.
Thank you, Jacqueline. So let's have a look at our implementation plan. This is the implementation plan that we developed for you to implement this strategy. It is divided into 3 parts. On top you can see the timeline. The timeline is divided into short-term, mid-term and long-term, where short-term means from now until the end of this year, mid-term means 2014 until 2015, and long-term means everything after January 2016. On your left-hand side you can see 3 dimensions that we use to cluster the tasks of the implementation. So there are organizational structure, practice areas and geographies. So now let's have a closer look at the challenges in those dimensions. The first dimension, the organizational structure, there is the challenge of low flexibility and low efficiency in your company right now. At the second dimension, the practice areas, you have the challenge that you have long reaction periods and cost-driving arrangements. And the third dimension, there is the challenge in the geographies that you have different demands and limited focuses in all geographies worldwide. So let's have a look at the organizational structure that we recommend to you. Here you can see the structure of the future Deloitte company. It will have the member firms that you have currently in your network, but there will be a melting pot in the center. And this means this is an internal crowdsourcing system where in the melting pot everything is combined. It is all about interaction and connection. So if there is a problem to solve from a customer in a local area of a member firm, they will translate this problem into the melting pot and then translate it to the language of a consultant. And then every consultant from all over the world, from your 160 countries all over the world, they will help to solve the problems in the melting pot. And in the melting pot as well, there will be profiles of every employee in your firm where his characteristics and his efforts are stated. So if you have a problem, you can go online and search for an employee in your firm to help to solve this problem. Okay, here you can see that it will increase the flexibility and it will lower the cost and will assure a faster delivery of problem solutions. Now, here are the single steps that you have to do in this dimension. So you need to set up this, and therefore you need to acquire the cloud computing systems. It is a provider of artificial intelligence solutions, and this means that repeating processes can be done by this system, by the systems for itself. So it is less time consuming to have repeatable processes. Then you need the coordination centralized. So the coordination should be in the UK where you are headquartered. And the motivation. The motivation of your employees to solve problems from other countries will be visualized in the internal profiles of these employees. So if an employee solved a difficult problem, it will be visualized in his profile and will develop his profile that he is very success-oriented, and so he will be successful in the future with this profile. And the best practice of the month will be announced in your intranet every month, that other employees can see the efforts of their partners all over the world. Then you need a change management, because this is a big shift in your company. So the communication will be from the management level downwards in every country at every level in your company. Then you need in each member firm worldwide an agent that is responsible for the transition. So he has to make weekly reports about the status of the transition phase. Then you need the employee involvement. And how can you assure this? You need workshops to get the informations from every level in your company to involve your employees that they accept this big shift. Okay, and then the human resources, there is a great opportunity to realize and develop talents, because every talent and every employee has the effort to solve problems. Here is the timeline. We think that with the acquisition, this is a very pessimistic view, you will be able to have the internal crowdsourcing system in January 2016. Now let's have a look at the second dimension, the practice areas. Where can you handle, with this system, your problems? We think that there is a great opportunity in the consulting and the corporate finance divisions. So in the consulting divisions, there is an opportunity to integratively develop strategies for your customers. So there will be a best practice telling online between your employees and a suggestions of solutions in this melting pot and product ideas. Every employee worldwide can create solutions or product ideas and put those ideas in the melting pot, and then another employee in a totally different country can see this product idea and realize, oh, there's a great opportunity for this idea in my market, and so they can take this idea and solve the problem and develop this new product for you. And the regional employees can pick them out, and so it will be a local development with a know-how in this country. Okay, then the marketing. For marketing ideas, to generate new marketing ideas, you have to develop a mobile app. And this means every employee of your firm has an internal mobile app on his smartphone. And if he sees a very interesting campaign or an advertising campaign, he can take easily a picture of it and upload it into the melting pot. And there will be subscriptions from employees from all over the world that they can get those marketing ideas from the subscripted categories. So if I see a marketing idea in Brazil, I can make a picture, make those buttons where it fits, in which complex of problem solution, and every employee can see this. Now, the promotion of your new strategy. What does it mean for your existing clients and future clients? It is all about ideas from all over the globe melted together. And this you communicate first to your biggest clients and involve them in this transition phase, what they expect from this new system, and an online explanation on your website. And here you can see the idea development and the development of a new strategy all over the globe. And here you can see the app function of the marketing idea from one country transmitted to other countries. Here's the timeline. You have to develop the interface and the mobile app, and it is all working when the internal crowdsourcing starts in January 2016. So the last dimension is geographics. In all your existing markets, this system will be introduced, and so you need a crowdsourcing agents in every market, so that there is one employee in every market that really knows the system and how does it work. Because as we all know, there are big firms worldwide and they don't know what they could be or what they could do, but if there is one guy who knows every single solution of this system and can explain it to his partners locally, it will be a great opportunity. And then specialties in the Asia-Pacific area. We see there a great opportunity to grow, and therefore there is an ongoing efficiency trend and so on, and therefore and for this you can use this system as well to implement strategies for this area by using your worldwide knowledge. And here is the timeline. So you can see here the web page that has to be developed internally to communicate this and to interact. So this was our implementation plan, and you have seen for every main challenge in every dimension, we have brought you the solution of interaction and connection, of faster and cheaper idea generation, and interdivisional idea sharing from all over the world. So now Jacqueline will give you a deeper understanding of the financial impact of this plan.
Thank you, Jens. At first, we want to take a look at your current situation. So you have really high revenues of $32.4 billion. You have employees of, you have 240,000 employees, but the revenues per employee are not really high. They are just $135,000 per year, and you have a revenue growth rate of 3.5% in total. So we made some assumptions for the future if you implement our implementation plan, that you can, through the implementation, increase your efficiency in consulting and corporate finance, that you can increase your profitability in your processes, that you can lower the internal cost, and that you can increase your revenues through efficient project distributions. And so, with this in mind, we will have the following revenue streams over the next years per segment. So in the two segments, consulting and corporate finance, where you can implement our implementation plan, you will have from 2016 on higher growth rates. But before, the growth rates won't be really high. They are not increasing because of the crowdfundings, and they will catch some of the market share. But afterwards, you can catch it back of them. And so you can see the total revenue streams will go up, and the growth will also grow further. So you have also some investments to do. What are they? We assumed that the crowd computing system is a quite successful company, and so you have to plan with around $6 billion, but of course it depends on what you can negotiate with them. So maybe this can also be lower. And the benefits of this is that you have more know-how for your internal system and that you can outsource your business processes. Then you have the development of the crowdsourcing system. This will cost around $1 billion because this is really complex and contains artificial intelligence. And so it is a bit expensive for you, but you have really high benefits because you have a high increase in flexibility and efficiency. And with this, you can increase your revenues, as you've seen before, really fast. So, now you have seen our implementation plan and the financial impact, and Lisa is now going to conclude our presentation.
So we now saw this detailed implementation plan and also the financial impact of our implementation plan. And when we take a look at the objectives from the beginning, we can see that we can reach all these objectives that we had developed at the beginning. But we know that your company is not acting in a vacuum; it is acting in a competitive and unsecure development and environment. And therefore, did we also take a look at possible risks? And possible risks that we identified is, on the one hand, the feasibility of the timeline, so that the acquisition runs not that fast like we planned it. Also, the under-expected management effort of the internal crowdsourcing and also the ongoing project loss to crowdsourcing companies. And the main risk that we see here is the feasibility of the timeline. But we based our implementation plan on really pessimistic development, and so we think that this is a really implementation plan that you can reach in the near future. So thank you really much for your attention, and we are really happy to answer your open questions.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Could you clarify for me, what do you think the increase in our revenue will be as a result of crowdsourcing? Because you're saying that we should spend $7 billion to get into this business, and I want to know what type of revenue you think we're going to get.
Well, you have seen the revenue growth in the future till the year of 2019, and we assume that afterwards it will even grow faster because your internal system first has to all your employees have to accustom to that system, and so it needs some time till it is completely established, and then your revenue growth will be higher. But you have seen the revenue growth till 2019, and from 2016 on, the growth rates will go up, so you will be able to develop your company and grow your company even faster. So this will pay off in the future, but not until 2020, so it needs some more time.
You mentioned it's internal, so it will be shared among all our groups. But is it available to our clients on the internet? I wasn't sure on that, if it was available on the internet to our clients.
No, it is available only internal. So we didn't want to dilute your brand image as a high-quality consulting firm. And we think that you can assure this quality. It has not be accessible for external people. And it is only a melting pot where you can melt and bring together ideas from all over the globe from your member firms.
Steve Johnson here. I'm going to have to go to my board and present a plan to them to spend $7 billion. We're growing around 5–6% a year. That's $1.5 billion plus annual growth, and you want me to go and advocate a $7 billion capital plan for a market that's currently $358 million. Please give me some arguments I can use with them.
As I said before, the $7 billion are quite on a high level, so it depends on your negotiation capacities or capabilities. So we don't know at the moment how high the market value of the company is that you acquire, but we wanted to assume a quite high number, because otherwise you might say that our plan wasn't feasible afterwards if you acquire the company and then you had to pay much more money. So it might really be possible, or it is highly possible, that you have to pay less money. And we think that this is the future, and so you have to spend money and invest in the future, because this system is really sustainable. And with this system, you're prepared, you're really good prepared for the future.
My understanding is that you would take all of the client engagements in strategy and or consulting in corporate finance and crowdsource them. Is that correct? Basically, internally crowdsource them?
Yeah, we see the main opportunities in these two practices of your company. So we see that in the audition part, it's highly differs which company you are looking on. So there is a really expertise on certain people, especially also in the tax business you are also in. So the combination of different skills and talents, we see not the big potential in those two areas, but as well, especially in the consulting and as well in the finance, corporate finance area. And for the consulting area, like Jens showed you in the implementation plan, especially the development of ideas directly out of the melting pot into different markets.
And just what is the rationale for taking all consulting and all corporate finance projects and crowdsourcing them? Why couldn't some of them be handled locally and you don't need to crowdsource them?
Yeah, of course. We don't want to take all of them, all of the projects into this melting pot, but it's an addition to your current business and to increase connection and interaction in your company, and that you can combine all these talents you have all over the world with 200,000 employees. So to combine all these employee talents and to synergize them would be a great opportunity, especially in those two areas.
Your presentation implies that the melting pot is actually a very large database. So it becomes, in crowdsourcing rather than world crowdsourcing. So how do we ensure that that information doesn't get stale over time? And how do we keep a competitive advantage with the GLG, for instance, who's totally open?
Yes, we considered also the risk of these stolen or the that you have those ideas online, and it might be easy to access your ideas, but we don't see the problem as such a big problem or so risky, because you actually have or you currently have online informations as well. So it is only a other way to communicate between your firms. They are right now communicating about very important problems and ideas all over the globe, and you are protecting this knowledge in a very good way right now. And it is not it is not another thing to protect the melting pot as your current data at your servers.
As you know, we have a lot of independent partners in independent countries, and I'm still having a problem to go to them and say, where am I going to get $7 billion from?
but you're a really successful company and you were growing over the last years and you were growing fast and you need to invest something in your future, and yeah, it won't be sustainable to just leave the things as they are, because if crowdsourcing is becoming a really big trend and if there won't be any regulations by the governments, then this might break your neck, as you can say, because your company is not in a position at the moment to face these new challenges, and so you need to invest. It's really important for your company to be prepared for the future.
What you suggest will make us more efficient, but one of the things the clients appreciate also with the crowd sourcing is the lower cost. So will we need to advertise this new investment, major investment, and lower what we charge to our clients on top of it? I don't understand where it benefits the client.
Okay, well, through the process optimization in your company, through the new system that has artificial intelligence in it, you can also some processes in this system, and you can also make the consultant processes more efficient, because you have these profiles online in your melting pot, and so for each project, the consultants can go to that melting pot, type in their information, and they get the best people from your company for the existing project. And so you will assure that the best people are in the projects, and if they are in the project, they can solve the problems faster for you, and so you will need less time, and as you know, time is money. So you will lower your costs, and you can lower also the prices for your customers.
As a multi-billion-dollar business, we win and lose multi-million-dollar contracts pretty much every day of the week. Yet, again, it's a $7 billion capital project that you're suggesting. I realize that the implementation of that is scheduled to be about a year's time out. Is there any steps that we can take in the interim to really further assess this threat of crowdsourcing?
Yes, it is. As mentioned before, there is a part of the new system what is called best practice telling, and this is one tool that you can implement right now to spread best practices all over the globe in your company. But it is only telling, and it's not the interaction that we recommended to you with the melting pot. It is only the one way to tell a story and the best practice from a member or an employee from one member firm from your world. This is one tool of it, but with the melting pot system, you have the both ways. You have to, you can tell best practices and get recommendations from all partners all over the globe.
One of the things I think I noticed that by 2019 you had us at about $58 billion in revenues. Is that correct? It was close to that, I think.
Yeah, it was something close to
So
that.
just a question. I mean, there's always this issue as you project growth rates going forward as to whether that kind of revenue is going to be some sort of share of market that is realistic. Do you think that the market is going to continue to grow at a 10% annual growth rate, and that you'll realistically be able to have $58 billion in sales and not be, 45% of the marketplace at that point?
Well, we assume that the market will continue to grow because there are some markets, like the emerging markets in Asia Pacific, they have really high growth rates, and the growth rates we assumed were relatively low, if you can see that there's a really big potential in these emerging markets. And so we're sure that these assumptions are quite realistic, or it can even be overpassed or surpassed. So the growth rates might be even higher in the future, because in the past they have also been higher. So this should be really realistic for you.
Looking at your growth rate and profitability over the next 6-7 years, how comfortable are you that spending $7 billion on crowdsourcing is yielding a higher return for the partnership rather than buying, number 5 or number 6 in the market? We're one of the top 4, let's say, would take $7 billion and buy number 6. So what would our revenues and profit look like 7 years from now compared to your recommendation?
Yes, In the current market, you have those big firms like you are, and you were acting very good over the last decades. But now the environment is changing, and if you just acquire one of these big players and of the old style consulting in this dynamic environment, it will nothing change about your long-term perspective. And with this implementation plan, with the implementation of this new system, you will be competitive in the future. And by acquiring a old school consulting firm, you will not change your future abilities.
Could you please clarify what percentage of the crowdsourcing business you think we're going to get? We have a lot of big competitors, and believe me, if we start doing this, they're all going to piggyback on it and do the same thing. So that's a lot of growth for us to get and share amongst the rest that I'm sure are going to follow.
Yes, there will be competitors adopting this system as well. But if you now introduce this system and acquire this recommended company to have the artificial intelligence in it, you will be the first mover, and you can use the first mover advantage to create the business. And all these smaller crowdsourcing companies will be small competitors in this environment if you implement as a experienced large-scale company this system. And we see there a great opportunity to be the first mover and create this business.
Could you expand on where it would fit in the structure of the company, and also on the relationship with the client? The client is key, relationship is key in our business. So can you expand on that, on who's accountable for what's going on?
Well, the relationships to the customers will stay the same as before, because you still have the personal contact between your companies in the different countries and the customers there. But the companies, or the parts of your companies in the several countries, they can get the knowledge out of the melting pot. But the customer contact will stay the same as before, so that the customers don't really realize that you have a new system. Okay, do you have an? Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut you. I was just wondering, so how do I pay people, I don't know, my colleague in the US who provided some information? How do you get, is it a bonus system? How do you organize that within the company?
No, it's not a bonus system. It's just with their usual salary they get for the projects they are doing, but it is paid from the several company parts all over the world. So the company that is asking the melting pot for knowledge, this company or that country has also to pay the salary for this, for the time it is consuming of the employee of the other country.
We won't have time for another one, so.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.